Twitter feels like an entirely new world, so I frequent it more these days. But this is one day I wished I didn't because I came across an article that I never thought was possible. Now, if your child is overweight and is starting to look unhealthy, what would you do? Now, if you ask Big Pharma, it's nothing that a jab can't fix. We seem to be at a point where any problem with our body can be solved by medicine. Do you guys think that this is a good idea? Comment a quick yes or no on that one. And were you guys aware that we're subconsciously being encouraged to use SNAP and EBT benefits to buy food that isn't good for us, but is good for the wallets of big corporations? Also, companies continue to emulate each other with layoffs, but despite thousands of Americans losing their job, their shares in the stock market continue to grow. Do you think that workers and employees should suffer for a boost in share prices in the stock market? This is why we have to look at our job as if we could lose it any day. Prepare before layoffs come to us. Now, before I continue, please take a second, drop a like for the video. I really appreciate that. That's a huge boost for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're in need of your daily dose of the truth when it comes to the state of our economy, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, government subsidies, SNAP benefits, not to mention the stock market, the housing market, and whatever's going on in Washington, D.C. that affects our lives, our families, and our bank accounts, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There's a link in the description down below. Guys, shareholders are seeing some good trends in the stock market right now. And it's great if you have some money with Wayfair, as they just saw their stock price jump 20%. That's right, Wayfair's stock prices jumped 20%. Now you might be asking, Ron, how did they do it? That's actually very impressive. Well, all they had to do was let 10,000 of their employees go. You see, stockholders mean something to these companies while workers are looked at as just numbers. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's how it is with some of these big corporations. This is also uncommon as the markets are seeing better days as workers see their worst days. Now, you have to think of every day as an opportunity to better your cash flow, to create passive income. And you should also think about creating a cash reserve, an emergency fund, ideally in a high yielding savings account that can last you at least 3 to 6 months. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the money you can use for your credit card bills, your mortgage, your car payments, food, necessities, and everything you might need between the time span, because the labor market is already seeing major adjustments. And yes, we could continue to see good days for the stock market. Improvements in the S&P 500, NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and other stocks are showing that bad news is nothing to these markets. Why? Because at the same time that the market trends are up, the housing market is plunging a mile a minute. Wait, how in the world does this make sense, right? Yes, mortgage rates are down. I believe it's right around 6.15% right now. And analysts on TV, they're saying that this could be the best time to get a house. But I don't think that we should just give in to all the talk, since they want us to believe that we're going to miss out on these great deals when we're sure to get better deals in the future. Sales continue to go down. And what happens when demand slows while supplies go up? You got it. Prices drop like a rock. In fact, 2022 was the slowest year for home sales in almost a decade.
This is such a huge shift from what we saw during the pandemic. U.S. existing home sales have fell for an 8th straight month in September, so that's the longest streak of declines in 15 years.
This morning, the U.S. housing market is in reverse. Just last month, Redfin Real Estate reporting 17% of homes that went under contract fell through. That's some 60,000 deals called off.
You are seeing people be more cautious. There's a lot of uncertainty going on right now. And it's not just the interest rates. They're looking at their retirement accounts. They're looking at their financial portfolios.
Recent homeowner Rashawn felt it.
Mortgage rates are up, food is up, gas prices.
Mortgage rates are double what they were last year. 12 months ago, a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 3.09%. This year, it's up near 7%, the highest it's been in 2 decades.
For every 1% that interest rates rise, buyers will lose about 10% of their buying power.
Higher mortgage rates also mean that more homeowners are staying put. New listings fell by 22% last month, and home sales are down 25% from last year.
Which is why I'm so confused as to, what some of these people continue to talk about. It's like they want people to buy a house at high prices, while we all know that wages really haven't kept up with inflation. Demand is down, inventories are increasing. It's not a good combination for real estate appreciation. I feel as if they want us to purposely get these deals at their peak, maybe so that they can sell out of these equities. Sure, a mortgage rate is sitting at 6.15%? That's kind of normal, but what about our economy and what can we really call normal these days? And since we're talking about normal, is it normal to work hard for a better physique? Now, if you're a kid, what do you think would be the best solution? I remember watching this some time ago from 60 Minutes, and they were talking about operations that can be done to help solve obesity.
How young is too young for this operation?
Well,
or for surgical intervention?
yeah, it's probably at the moment it's 12 is where we sort of cut it off.
12?
Well, we've done 12-year-olds.
You've operated on 12-year-olds?
Sure.
Weight loss operations on kids? These are kids. Remember when older generations were trained to trust cigarette companies through candy cigarettes? How many of you guys remember candy cigarettes? Now we're supposed to trust miracle drugs? Well, can't say that I'm looking forward to what these kinds of medicines will cause. Instead of advocating for a healthy lifestyle where you have to work and be determined to lose weight, to get your life back on track, to watch what you eat, they want to provide a lazy option, the easy option. Oh, you're overweight because of all the food that we advertise to you? Here's an injection. Just go ahead and jab that in your arm. That'll take care of that. They may not directly advertise unhealthy food to you, but were you aware that while it's not explicitly mentioned, the purchase of soda through SNAP benefits is possible? I kid you not. The USDA actually says that, quote, cold drinks, fountain drinks, slushies, iced coffee, smoothies, and other similar items, etc., are eligible for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP purchase if they are intended for home consumption. The fact that a drink may be sipped while the customer is standing in line does not render it ineligible, as long as it's not otherwise intended for consumption on store premises, end quote. What about sodas are healthy? You would ask though, who provided these guidelines that children are now eligible for injections and drugs that can possibly make them dependent? The American Academy of Pediatrics. I guess they're going to have customers for life with this one. Just one of the many money-making opportunities for Big Pharma. How many of you guys are invested in Big Pharma stocks on the stock market? And well, just like the stock market, numbers are easily manipulated to make parents think that some foods are better than others. Now, if I were to ask you if you thought that Lucky Charms were healthier than fried eggs, what would you say? Ty Beal, who is a global nutritionist scientist, tweeted this out some time ago. Quote, Lucky Charms, Cheerios, sweet potato fries, grape juice, and watermelon all score at least twice as high as eggs, cheese, and beef in a new healthfulness metric. Do we really want this for our front of package labeling, warning labels, taxation, and company ratings? Now, in what alternate universe should we be avoiding eggs, cheddar cheese, and ground beef and instead opt to eat Lucky Charms and Cheerios? Have you ever eaten cereals in the morning and an hour later you just kind of feel hungry? It's crazy to think that this is real. And just to put the nail in the coffin on this one, a pediatrician from Los Angeles says that diet and exercise is not going to do it for a number of teens who are struggling with this, end quote. She means obesity, and it's scary to think that our doctors are willing to have our kids be on medication for their entire lives instead of teaching them how a good diet works and a workout routine, how it can ultimately help them get back on track and to become healthy again and to monitor what they're eating. But let me ask you guys, what would you rather prefer your kids do if you were in this situation or if they were in this situation? And what do you think the doctors are going to get out of this? Possibly some kickbacks from the drug companies? A healthy diet based on organic food isn't the cheapest option, but I do believe that it can lead to a better and healthier lifestyle. Now, while our options won't necessarily always match up, you have to agree that it's always best to have the option to be able to afford all this food. And while it's not simple, there are steps that we can take to get back to financial freedom. We can start with how to manage your finances, budgeting. That plays a huge role in what we're capable of affording. Cash flow's next, and you can improve that by developing side hustles and small businesses that could then lead to multiple streams of income. You could focus your energy to get into investments in the stock market or even real estate. Now, if you need help with any of these, don't hesitate to get in contact with me. You can join us in the Patreon community. There's a link in the description down below of this video. But before I go, guys, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up for the video. Also subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. Appreciate you guys watching. I love you back. I'll see you in the next one.